So first I establish my wash, and I'm adding a little bit of water here so I can get more of a bead. As long as it's wet, I can do that. Now I'm adding more water and no pigment to try to get a gradated wash. Now I'm adding more pigment to make it brighter and an even darker pigment, and this is about coffee. And you can see I'm adding more so that it falls down, painting at a 45-degree angle. And I decided to go with greenish, and it's much thicker. It's more like milk now, and down here it's edging into thick milk, almost cream. And now I'm just playing. It's still wet down here in this thicker paint, so I'm just playing and seeing what will happen if I just put water in, or if I put, that's yellow ochre that I put in, it's quite wet, and let it push down into the thicker paint. Now the whole painting is dry, and I'm going to put in my tree. I'm using my calligraphy brush, which is pretty tortured at this point. Now normally I would have done this in the wet wash, but I didn't because it dried too fast. So I'm going to go back in and soften those edges with a soft brush. Don't be afraid to use your fingers if you think you need to use your fingers. Now I'm putting in a darker color. It's fall outside my window, so I'm putting in red. I like to leave spaces for the trunk and for the sky to show through a little bit. So it's not just a big mass of a tree. And here I'm going to put in a little bit of a trunk and some branches. This is still nice and wet, so I can go in with thicker paint on the wet areas to make a darker side to the tree and just let it bleed. Don't poke at it, although it does look like I'm poking with my finger, doesn't it? Here's darker paint again to establish that shadow of the tree. This is very small. This whole painting is about 2 inches by 4 inches, I'd say. Now I'm just making some little leaves, and I'm going to make a little shadow area. And I'm going to come in and play a little bit more here in just a minute. This is still wet. You can see I'm still putting in darker color, thicker color, because it's still wet and it moves really beautifully then. And now I'm going to come in and just do some playing with a dark, thick color. This is probably cream. And this is definitely cream, that dark green that you saw go in. And again, it's still wet, and so I'm going to come in and play some more, just because this is just my little play piece. It's just a playground. I'm not trying for a painting per se. And I've done as much as I want to do with this tiny piece, so I'm just going to come in and make a couple of little birds to activate that space up there. And I like to do things in odd numbers, so one more third little bird and I'll be done.